Hi, everybody. I was asked to record this, so just so you're aware, I'm recording.
It
it looks like I have to have permission to record.
Ms. Preeby, I've got you covered. I'm recording it.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so a lot of you are repeat parents. You'll know me. I'm Miss Preeby. I've been at Dominion for 10 years, and this year primarily, I am a gifted curriculum specialist still, but I will be primarily focusing on 7th and 8th grade intervention and enrichment. And I will also be focusing on the social emotional health of our exceptional learners. So we do have a new staff member, Mrs. Ballinger. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Sure. I am Mrs. Ballinger. I'm not so new. This will be my 34th year in Columbus City Schools and my 15th year working in the Division of Gifted and Talented. And I will be a full-time gifted and talented core enrichment specialist this year at Dominion. I will be working primarily with 6th grade, but I also see my duties working outside of across grade levels, and I also will support district-wide enrichment opportunities. So I'm excited to be at Dominion this year.
We're very excited to have Ms. Ballinger. I don't have anything formal for this. We have the entire gifted teaching team with us. So I don't know if let me see here. I don't know if somebody can monitor the chat. I can't have it up.
I got you covered. I'm watching the chat.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions that we could possibly help with tonight?
I have a question.
Sure.
I've been hearing about these pod study groups.
Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of share some information about that, where we could go to, or maybe my child can hook up with some other students and then they kind of create their own?
Yeah, I believe that is, I don't think that's Columbus City Schools based.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I think it's, I have had a couple other parents mention it to me.
Okay.
But I think it is. I think it's community based and you're reaching out with other parents and setting that up. So I'm sorry, I really don't have any information on that.
Okay. Thanks.
Ms. Preeby, there's a question in the chat about who meets with 504 students.
Who meets with 504?
Yes, who works with the 504 students. That
would be special ed.
Yeah, that would be the group of us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he or she will have a team. I would be on that team. The classroom teachers are on that team. The school counselors on that team. So he or she would have full intervention for the 504.
I'm sorry, I have a question. Is possible when interpreter or somebody speaks Spanish? So I already try for text and somebody speaks Spanish, and I can do it. So
okay.
Maybe he's much better with me when somebody speaks Spanish, when I can understand all of it. What do you say?
All right,
Sure.
Give me a second. I'll see if I can get somebody in here.
Please, thank you.
Thanks, Patty.
Mrs. Preeby, I'll go ahead with the chat questions while she's figuring that out.
Okay.
There was a question again about the pods. Do we have a recommendation on how we could organize those? I don't live in Columbus, but I can tell you that the neighborhood where I live, they are organizing those pods on Facebook. I don't know of any other way to do that. I haven't seen any other way, but they're reaching out on social media in the area where I live to get those pods together. I don't know if that helps, but That's what I'm seeing.
Thank you, Mrs. Piper.
All right, the chat kind of blew up there, and
Okay.
I missed some
I'm ready.
things.
I have my notepad.
Okay, so how can this person wants to know how they can switch? I'm assuming to the Unified Arts meeting. I don't know. You can leave this room, but I don't know how you get into the other breakout room.
If you leave this room and go back to the main and rename yourself, I will let Miss Chu to look for you because she can move people. But make sure that you just leave the room and not the meeting.
There's a, whoops, it scooted up. Okay, this student was placed in gifted math halfway through 5th grade, wants to make sure that they're in the right math class this year for 6th grade. How do they find out if she is in gifted math this year?
I'm going to put my email in the chat. And you can just email me directly and I can share all of that information privately. Whatever I have.
Okay.
That is my email.
We have another question. Could you please just give a general overview of how GT works in middle school? This is from an incoming 6th grader. Just a general overview of what the program looks like.
Yes, that's a great question.
Hey,
so
just a heads up, Miss K is in here, so if you want to say things and then she can unmute herself and then interpret after, that would probably work well.
okay. I don't know who asked that, but thank you for asking that. It's a good question. Basically, so it's going to be obviously slightly different until we go back to the school, but we will, the students are clustered generally by identification or very closely clustered by multiple identifications. And they travel sort of in a group throughout the day, depending on where they go, except for their unified arts classes. And then a lot of the enrichment opportunities will happen during core enrichment. And that's when myself, Mrs. Ballinger, and then the classroom teachers, if they have anything specifically, when we would be working with the students. And then additionally, we are in the classroom some of the time, especially with the online learning. We will be co-teaching with a number of the teachers. We will be in there with them. And then when school resumes, we'll be in the classrooms as well. I hope that makes sense. Your child will also have a written education plan, also called a WEP, which you will get at the beginning. You will get a progress report in the middle of the year, and then you will get a final one at the end of the year.
Okay, couple questions. The kiddos who are, I think I can answer this one, Ms. Preeby.
Don't forget to pause at the end so Kay can interpret.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
Okay, so I'm not an expert, but could you give me a brief version of what you would like me to say?
Are you asking me or Ms. Preeby at this moment?
I think Miss Preview, what specifically should I be conveying?
I'm not sure from what I just said.
Yes.
That that the child will have they'll have service. I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Okay,
I feel completely discombobulated and I don't know what to do.
I'd say that the child will have services in their classroom with their cluster teacher, and there will be gifted support coming into that classroom, and then they'll have opportunities through core enrichment. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Ms. Ballinger.
Okay, so para los quien necesitan español, ella dijo que los maestras de tu estudiante van a estar en sus clases y si necesitan más ayuda después de la clase, van a estar oportunidades en core enrichment. Es una clase donde ellos pueden tener oportunidades más para si necesitan ayuda. That's my best shot there.
Sounds
Hey,
good.
sounds good to me. There were a couple questions about the GT, the compacted math. So if you don't mind, I'll answer those if you guys
Yes,
are
please,
okay.
Ms. Frank. That's
Um,
all you.
The compacted math, because there was a question about retesting. Because we left school in the spring before the placement testing took place, there were 3 different things that Mr. Heiner, who is in charge of our math department, 3 things that he looked at. He looked at GT identification and the score on the 5th grade air test. And there were requirements. You could either meet a certain GT identification of math identified or superior cog identified, or achieving a 4 or a 5 on the 5th grade air test. That was one requirement. The second requirement that had to be met, they looked at the middle of the year test last year. That was taken January-ish, I believe. And they were looking at goal 1 and goal 2, which were the topics that had already been covered that year. And they needed a certain average score on those 2 items. So you had to meet one of the 2 things in the first requirement and the second requirement to be placed into compacted math. So as far as fall testing, yes, I heard that also in the spring that they wanted to do another test in the fall. I don't think they anticipated that we would not be in the building at that point. I have talked to Mr. Heiner about this. There's no way to do that right now. Part of the concern, of course, is COVID safety, and a smaller part is if we do a test online, having a valid testing situation. So as of right now, I cannot give you an answer about when a retest would be, but that's what I know from Mr. Heiner. There was a student on here who said that she never took a test. Well, she did. Don't worry, sweetie, you're in. I got you. You're on my roster, okay? We looked at the requirements that I just went over, and you are where you're supposed to be right now. But if you don't believe me, email Miss Preby and she'll tell you the same thing, okay? Other questions. Oh, Whetstone students who are going to be taking math at Whetstone. I do not have information for you. Your teachers over there should be reaching out. If they haven't already, they should be soon. That's all I know about the high school courses there. Let's see. Algebra 1 is a high school credit, yes. And compacted math, that is 7th grade. And what we do is we teach the 7th grade curriculum and the 8th grade curriculum in 1 year. It's mostly 8th grade, but we cover 2 grade levels in 1 year. Let's see here. Math 1 did change the name to algebra. Yes, we're back on the algebra track.
Special GT enrichment activities planned for the fall.
Yes, right there.
I would say those.
I was looking in the wrong way. Go ahead, Miss Ballinger.
Well, I think that we'll continue with a lot of middle school enrichment academic opportunities that have always existed. How they'll, obviously they'll be different in terms of power of the pen that Mr. Heisel heads up. We would probably, we're looking at the geography bee. We are still looking at our debate program. How that's going to work with capital depends on capital. So when you're looking at district-led academic opportunities, and then you're looking at those opportunities that are outside of our district, we'll have to see. And then obviously there's teachers have a lot of their own different kinds of academic enrichment that happens within the classroom and within the school. So I would imagine it's going to stay the same as much as possible, or we'll offer a variety.
Yeah, I think that's one point I'd like to make to all the parents, is that we plan on doing, as a gifted department, we plan on doing everything we've done to the capacity that we can with the pandemic. We still plan on doing mock trial, math showcase, hopefully. So all of those enrichment activities we've always done. If we can do them, we will. We should be doing invention convention again. So just so you guys know, we are not actively walking away from anything. We are going to try to keep all of them on target like we have.
Yep.
There was a question, and I'm going to direct this to the parent. I think I know the answer, but the daughter was in GT in elementary school. They took some time and did homeschooling. She wants to know if her child is in GT again. I would say email either Ms. Preby or Ms. Ballinger, and they can answer that question. Is that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I can include my email as well, particularly 6th grade parents, if they want to send to me. They can also reach out to the Gifted and Talented office. There is a Gifted and Talented secretary there that can also assist.
I think we covered the chat. I'm trying to make sure. If I missed your question, please retype it.
I think we hit all the questions. I think I'm not seeing any extra ones, and Miss Kay is doing a great job of typing in her responses.
Oh, if you don't mind, if you didn't pick up your school supplies, when you come through the line, whichever teachers are there, if you tell them, if you're in compacted math, please tell them that you're in compacted math because it's a different book.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Piper. That's a good point.
It's the Math 7 books. There are 2 volumes. There are 2 volumes for compacted math, but only the first one is in right now. So we're just handing out the first volume for compacted math, but it is a different book. So make sure, please, that you tell them you need the compacted book.
I am also going, if I can without exiting, I'm going to put my personal Google Classroom link and Meet the Teacher in the chat. A lot of, like I said, most of you know me, 6th grader parents, you wouldn't. So I'm gonna try to do.
So there's a question about schedules with, I'm assuming that's with those kids that are going to
Whetstone.
Whetstone, and the Whetstone, I don't know what their schedule looked like, but I am writing that down because it should have been first and second period at Whetstone, which should still be in the time frame that our first and second period is. So it should still work, but I will look that up and double check for you.
Okay.
Question, schedules are different virtually. That came in right after the compacted math talk. Yes, compacted math and Math 7 are different periods. They will not be in the same Zoom sessions. And to the 7th grader who is in Algebra 1, yes, please come through. And when you come through the school supply, let them know you need the algebra book. We have one of those for you as well.
We are down to about 2 minutes. Does anyone have any urgent question that we could cover quickly? It's hard for me to toggle. Okay. Well, thank you. I really appreciate everyone popping in. I'm sorry it's been a little frazzled. You guys are welcome. I'm seeing thank yous. I can see some of the chat things come up, so you guys are more than welcome.
There's lots to
Please
thank you.
email us with any questions. You guys know that I will, if I can, I will get you an answer right away. And if I can't, I will find the answer for you. So all of you who had schedule questions and placement questions, please do not hesitate to reach out and email me, Miss Ballinger, and we can get that all figured out for you.
Hey, Ms. Piper, there's a question in there. We have a 7th grader transferring from CGA. He finished 7th grade math, but is in compacted. Is that correct?
I do know of that situation. I have forwarded that to somebody who knows the answer.
Yeah, we're on that situation to that parent.
Yeah, do we have a final answer, Ms. Preby?
We don't, but I know that if it's not fixed, it's in the process of being there. I don't want to say for sure because I don't know, but I know that we're on it.
Lots of thank yous. So
You guys are welcome. I love it. I miss the kids. I'm so excited that we might be going back and can at least see them some of the time, safely, of course, but thank you to all of you who in the spring were so gracious and wonderful and still allowed us to try to get this done. I enjoyed every minute of it to see them. So
I have Mr. Heisel, and there's not enough time because we're
yeah, 4 seconds. Good.
But
Bye, guys. Please email me.
there was a question about DC in the 8th grade meeting, so that might be something that we bring up when we go back.
Yes.